What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Trophy Room Podcast. I'm your host, your boy Nick, back at it again. I'm here ready to talk NBA, NFL, MLB, WNBA, and more. What's up, everybody? Back at it again, another Trophy Room Thursdays, and yes, I know y'all been paying attention. It's finally episode 10. I got my first guest on here with me. Shout out my boy, co-host of the Pick a Side podcast, Mr. Andrew Velez, bro. Tell me how you feeling on this Trophy Room Thursday, my brother.
I'm doing pretty excellent. That intro was everything and then some. Goodness gracious. You gave me the energy to get into this show and get this thing rocking. Let's get into it.
I appreciate that, man. That's always been a thing that everybody likes. Shout out to my boy Shelly, made the beat. And honestly, man, that's just been how I've been as a person. Like, I come in with the energy, and I'm just ready to get to it, man.
Talk to him. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So just to start out the episode, we got to start talking about basketball. NBA is back officially today. I actually think it's going on right now. We got an NBA preseason going on. Mavs versus the Timberwolves, a little Luka Edwards type thing. But just to start out, we did have media day this past Monday. So, Drew, I want to talk to you about some standouts that happened this week. Let me know what you think. Who stood out to you most?
The most exciting to me, actually, was hearing a lot of them talk about wanting to play in the Olympics in 2024. Kevin Durant, he said, yeah, that's definitely something that I want to do. Then you saw Steph Curry talk about that's something that's interesting to me. I've never done it before. We just got news that Joel Embiid is officially locked in for Team USA basketball. LeBron James, who said that I think my time playing with the Olympic team, I think that's over with. He's come back and said, I think I want to run that back one last time. They're putting together the modern day dream team. I didn't think that it'd be possible for us to get Joel Embiid to play in the squad. It's seeming as if we are getting probably the best collection of basketball players Olympic basketball has ever seen. I don't say that lightly. Next one I want to mention, your boy, Jimmy Butler, showing out, having some fun. I'll be honest, people, I hope that they're not hating on it because obviously it's a trend. Last year he did it. He did it again this year. He came with the emo hair. He came with the nose ring or the eyebrow ring, excuse me.
He had like 4 piercings.
Right. He looked mad cool. He looked like he was having fun. He's trying to embrace the opening of the NBA. It's spooky season 2. He said it. This is my Halloween. Listen, I have no problem with it, with having fun and just enjoying your time, especially this time of season.
Yeah, man, especially because, Jimmy came in and Jimmy's a troll. Everybody knows that. So when he came in, he was like, yeah, I'm emo. I'm in my emotions right now. I was crying. I was looking at him. I was like, bro, this man is hilarious. And what really got me excited was the next day we started training camp. The first thing the Miami Heat posted, oh, braided Jimmy is back. Like nothing changed, man. Like nothing changed. You know the deal. We ready to compete this year. We ready to go especially we still got the big hitters. I know not a lot of people like Tyler Hero, but I love Tyler. You got Bam, you got Jimmy, you got Spo, the master on the clipboard, man. I'm telling you. But I'm surprised you didn't bring up your boy, Mr. Anthony Davis, talking about he wanted to play 82 games this year. I'm not trying to be a hater, but when he said that, I laughed.
Oh, did you?
I was like, word? I mean, I get it. You want to play. I get it. Who don't want to play 82 games, but like, my man, that's not going to happen. Like,
I'll say this. When Anthony Davis is on the court, he's at minimum a top 10 player in the world.
Absolutely.
82 games, you have to set a standard. And now in the new day NBA, with now the new collective bargaining, you need to play 65 games to meet the requirements to be all NBA, to meet the requirements to have a chance for these NBA awards. Set an expectation. 82 games. I respect that. He knows that he's when he's on the court, the Lakers are better. When he's on the court, the Lakers are one of the best teams in the NBA.
Absolutely.
I loved it. I go into the season saying Anthony Davis is going to play 82 games as well. So I'm glad that he decided to not leave me alone in that island. So let's ease up on Anthony Davis. Let's understand that the game's better with him. So let's hope he does play all 82, right? Am I right there or what?
No, you're absolutely right. I'm not gonna lie. When he said that, I was thinking about it. I was like, yo, I was like, AD playing 82 games is crazy.
It'd be a
And then I
movie.
thought about it, I was like, with the offseason they had, they might be able to take a lot of load off of him offensively, maybe even defensively, re-signing Vando, getting a guy like Jackson Hayes.
Christian
And
Wood, that's another
Christian
one that's going
Wood,
to ease up.
those,
Yep.
those kind of guys will be able to take a little bit of load off AD on both ends of the court. Yes, AD's still going to have his 25, 12 rebounds, like 4 blocks. AD's still going to do his thing. Braun going to do his thing. But now with the bigger supporting cast you have, especially with a guy like my guy, Gabe Vincent, that's like the whole team. Yo, the whole team is going to be nice this year. I have a lot of expectations for y'all.
Appreciate
Definitely.
that. Lakers are about to be up. We're going to talk about them a little bit later.
Absolutely. And then just to give two of my more media day standouts. Obviously, you got my guy traded to the Bucks. It's all good. I'm over it. But I did point out, I did peep that I think it was Bucks media posted that they were showing the group picture of the 4 of them when it was Dame, Giannis, Chris, and Brooke. When Dame was standing there taking a picture with them, he was like, damn, like, I've never been in a picture like this before. When I saw him say that, I was like, oh, not a shot at like CJ McCollum and LaMarcus Aldridge. But like, they grow up at 2 different times, but it's cool. And my last one, I just want to show love to the young teams coming up. That Pacers team look good, man.
Yeah, man.
You got Tyrese coming off a career year. You get a guy who's hungry and is ready to play after what he did last year in Obi Toppin. Probably one of the MIP favorites. You get a guy like Bruce Brown who's fresh off a chip, which he's gonna be probably a 6 man of the year candidate. And then like to get a small guy who's been ready to play too, in Jordan Noir from Milwaukee, who won a championship, who's ready to come in, who's ready to contribute. And then you still got guys like Miles Turner. And they got is it Jalen or Jaden Smith from Phoenix?
Yep, Jaden. Mm-hmm.
So like and then you still got Buddy Hield until he gets traded. Hopefully maybe they can work something out, maybe keep Buddy. But yeah, Tyrese coming off a great year, man. I think that team is gonna look nice.
I was gonna say with Tyrese, another year with the Pacers, you want to do everything you can to keep the best talent around him. You saw it last season when he was healthy, the Pacers were rocking. I know Buddy Hield wants his money. Right now, I think he's getting paid, I don't want to be wrong, 27, something around those lines. He wants more than that. He's going to be a player that wants $30 million a season. That's tough. And if I'm the Indiana Pacers, that's definitely not my first choice. But what you have to do is surround Tyrese with as much great basketball players as possible to build a foundation that Indiana Pacers fans and, of course, Indiana basketball can be proud of.
Absolutely, man. But no, yeah, those were just some of my media day standouts from this year. And listen, man, NBA starts today. I'm ready to get to it. I'm ready to start. I understand NFL's going on, but NBA is home.
It's nothing like that opening week of basketball. Seeing the Lakers versus Nuggets opening day is going to get me going, man. What a matchup.
Especially with the drama that's been going on with them. That's like, well, AD and Bron, more AD taking shots at Denver. Mike Malone taking shots. Oh, you talking about us still? Oh, okay. Like, I can't wait for that. That's gonna
Malone needs to relax because Malone was talking about us throughout his whole championship parade. He would not stop talking. And then AD says what he says. He just responds simply, "We heard them talking. That's okay. We're looking forward to that opening day matchup. Simple as that." And then Malone to take the petty route. "Oh, they still worried about us. We got bigger fish to fry." I'm just like, stop being corny. You said what you said. Stand on your words.
He's wild for that. I don't know why he did that.
Yeah, he's wild corny.
Yeah, wild corny. I'm surprised they swept y'all. I was really shocked. I think I'm not even going to speak on it, but it's a whole new season. Y'all, I've said it a couple times on my show. Y'all definitely won the offseason. The amount of people that y'all got for cheap is crazy, man. The Lakers about to be so good. But just to talk about Denver and LA, I'm gonna go. Did you have any other media day standouts you want to talk about?
Not really, man.
All right, cool. So like just to get into this next part of the basketball topic, I want to hear your top 5 teams in each conference. So, top 5 in the East and top 5 in the West. I got my list too. I think we got the same people. We might just have them in different places.
Okay, so I'm gonna go East then West. So in the East, Number
And
one.
the way I do it on my show, you got to go from 5 to 1.
I appreciate you saying that to me because I was about to fuck up. Here we go. In the East, number 5, the New York Knicks. New York Knicks had a great season last year. Jalen Brunson really broke out last year, specifically in the playoffs, where he was absolutely sensational in round 1 versus the Cavs. And he was great in that Heat series while he was also going through an injury as well. I love that starting 5. I love QG. I think that he's going to take another leap this year if he could just try to be more of a slasher, continue being a high-level three-point shooter where he ended up being a near 40% three-point shooter last season. That would be amazing. Josh Hart, an amazing midseason addition, now gets a full training camp with the guys over there. I'm expecting Josh Hart to continue to be an integral piece to this offense. RJ Barrett. I always try to save optimism when it comes to RJ because I know what he can be when he is at his best. And that was in that Cavaliers series where he was one of the best players in that series as a whole. It's just a matter of consistency. Can he be great? Julius Randle, he's shown he can be an all-NBA player. He is a great player, just not when you need him most come playoff time. And then Mitchell Robinson, who's one of the more underappreciated bigs in the game, but let me not say that anymore because the Knicks want 2 first-round picks for him. I think that's a little crazy. Number 4, Philadelphia 76ers. So long as James Harden's on this team, this is a team you need to respect in the Eastern Conference. You have James. You have, obviously, the reigning MVP in Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris. That is one of the best the best starting 4s in the NBA. Now, we failed to see them get it together and make a great run so far in the 2 years that James Harden's been there. That being said, when they're healthy, the sky could be the limit, and potentially this could be the team that we could talk about coming out of the East. But you don't feel comfortable saying that because you don't know what Joel Embiid you're going to get. And I mean, is that a healthy Joel Embiid or is that an unhealthy Joel Embiid? With the talent's undeniable. Of course, PJ Tucker's there. He's one of the better defensive stoppers in the game also. Number 3, your Miami Heat. They had a chance to be number 1. They had a chance, but missing out on Dame, missing out on Drew. They seem like the odd man out in this offseason. It's unfortunate because they were putting all their chips and getting Damian Lillard onto the squad. That didn't work out. But back-to-back seasons of ECF, you did make the finals this past season. You do have one of the best coaches, arguably the best head coach in the association. Jimmy Butler and Bam, where we see Bam, someone who I haven't been critical of, get better each season. He experiences the playoffs more and more. He has impressed me and did impress me that postseason run last year. Mostly as a playmaker, really. That's what I didn't know he had in his arsenal. He really was the initiator of that Miami Heat team. That's why a guy like Dame would have been great to take that off of him and allow him to excel at his other responsibilities that he has. But you guys, nevertheless, are a great respective team. You did lose Gabe Vincent. That might suck in the long run because you did need that point guard, but you trust the foundation. Number 2, the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I would have had them 1 had the Boston Celtics not gotten Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday makes it a power move because they needed a point guard. They needed another defensive stopper on the perimeter. This was the perfect move for a team that was already one of the best, arguably already. You swap Robert Williams for Kristaps Porzingis. You swap Malcolm Brogdon for Drew Holiday. That's upgrades to me. And already you have arguably the best duo in the association with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I have them top 3, but of course, if you want to argue it, their floor has been proven to be the conference finals. This unit is amazing, but Milwaukee is going to be right there with them all season long. They do come in my 2 spot, but you add Dame to this team that desperately needed offense. Defense, they were already sound. Dame's not that great of a defensive player by any means, but offensively, that's where they needed help. They were almost non-existent isolation basketball team. Damian Lillard was one of the best isolation scorers at the guard position last year. He's going to bring in a type of basketball that Milwaukee has not experienced so far in Giannis's tenure. It's going to be amazing to watch these 2 teams fight all season long.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I have the same list, but I do have a couple guys for different reasons.
Okay.
Actually, the only one thing I don't have that I have that you don't is actually at number 5. I have the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I respect
because
that.
you still have the man in the middle in Jared Allen. You're gonna have the emergence offensively, and we already see what he could do defensively in Evan Mobley. You add two shooters in Max Strus and Georges Niang, which really helps at that three spot, and you still got that lockdown defender in Isaac Okoro. You have another year who's arguably says he's not gonna re-sign, but technically, if he's not going to resign, he's fighting for a contract somewhere else in Donovan Mitchell, who's really going to ball out this year, who arguably should have went all NBA first team last year, but got all NBA second team. Still one of the best shooting guards we have in the league. And you have another year in the young gun in Darius Garland, who's only shown improvements. And that bench, JB Bickerstaff, like they've shown as an organization that they were on the come up, making the play in, missing the play in, making the play in. Then you add a guy in Donovan Mitchell. They were the 4th seed last year, pretty much underperformed against the New York Knicks, but still they have that potential that they can maybe even make a conference finals.
The reason why I couldn't put myself to have the Cavaliers at that 5 spot is because that Cavaliers Knicks series is so ingrained in my head, and how dominant the Knicks were over the Cavaliers.
Absolutely.
We saw Jared Allen get absolutely bodied by Mitchell Robinson. Evan Mobley, he's a great defensive player. Offensively, too inconsistent for my liking. You're right. He's shown flashes. He's shown that he could obviously be useful as an offensive player, but not on a consistent basis enough. You have Garland, you have Mitchell. That's fantastic. But you really don't have that presence on the perimeter defensively. You have the best front court defensive crew probably in the NBA with Mobley and Jared Allen. But when Mitch Robinson essentially by himself can take Jared Allen out of the game, that becomes a question to me, because Jared Allen's not a slouch. That should not have happened. Coming into that series, you were expecting the best bigs in that series to be, you respect Julius Randle. Julius Randle probably would be one. But then it's Mobley, Jared Allen, and last is Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson allowed people to put respect on his name after that series. And with the way that they handled business so calmly, I have to lean New York.
In 5 games was a little nuts. But
5 is inexcusable for a team with that much talent.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, especially like you said, with all that talent from top to bottom, and they had arguably like the top guys almost in every position. Like that's a lot. But and then I got the same list 4-1. 4 I got the Cavs. 4 I got the Sixers. Even if they do deal away James Harden, you still sign a defensive stopper, a defensive pest in Patrick Beverley. They signed Kelly Oubre Jr., which I thought was huge for a small deal, who's just coming off a 20-point per game year in Charlotte. You still have a guy in Tyrese Maxey, and like you said, the reigning MVP of the NBA in Joel Embiid. And then you add a championship level head coach in Nick Nurse, who I think is so huge for them, especially all the years that they just had with Doc. I really think that this team can arguably, obviously you've seen it, this team can get you to the second round. But with Nick Nurse's mind, I really think with Nick Nurse, they can take that jump and maybe make their first conference finals in Joel Embiid's tenure being there. So I feel like with Nick, and I've seen Patrick Beverley talk about it himself on his own pod, that one of the reasons why he signed with Philly was because of Nick Nurse. And I feel like especially when you look at Nick Nurse's Raptors team, like they had Kawhi, they had Kyle Lowry, and they had a young Fred VanVleet. And then if you look at the rest of their team, some of them were G Leaguers. And I know Kawhi is that type of player, but he got them to buy into his system. And look what happened. They won a chip. Granted, KD got hurt. They were trying to lock up Steph. Clay got hurt. But still, a championship is a championship. Like
that Raptors team had some guys. You had Siakam. You had Ibaka. You had Gasol. Fred VanVleet was really the guy that was unexpectedly the unsung hero of the squad defensively. He was a dog. He did a solid job defending Steph Curry, but of course, Steph Curry is Steph Curry. He's going to get his regardless. That team had some guys, man. They had the wall specifically built just to beat Giannis, and then you go into the championship game or championship series, you're expecting them to not be the favorites because KD, Steph, Clay, Dre, Iggy. It's an unfair roster that they were going against. But once they piled up the injuries, Toronto was able to
Yeah.
take advantage. They were a great team.
No, absolutely. Nah, don't. The only reason I give Nick Nurse a lot of credit is because when you look at
For
those big
sure.
men, I feel like they were kind of on their way out. Like if you look at Marcus All was towards the end of his career. Same thing with Ibaka. And like we were talking about Pascal. Pascal was in the G League the year before. He really started to emerge as that guy we know today. And like you said before, same thing with Fred. Fred really shined in the whole playoffs and especially in the finals, like you said, guarding Steph Curry and being that third guy with Kyle and Kawhi. But like you said, at number 3, I got the Miami Heat. Basically everything that you said, losing Dame sucks. But you still got arguably the best head coach in the league. You have probably a top 3, top 5 duo in Jimmy and Bam. You still got role players. You still got Tyler Hero, who's coming off a 20-point per game year. Hopefully, Tyler can stay healthy through the playoffs, and we can really see what Tyler's going to do because he's had some up and down years in the playoffs. You still have a leader in Kyle Lowry, and not a lot of people know this about Kyle, but it was 2 years ago when we went to the ECF. There was one game we had no Jimmy, no Bam, no Tyler. Kyle led that team with the bench, and we beat the Phoenix Suns by 30. And that was the same year that the Phoenix Suns went to the finals. So people sleep on Kyle Lowry. I understand he's older, he's thicker, but
he's mid.
You said what?
He's mid.
Okay, Drew. All right, okay, bro.
I'm sorry, bro. He's mid. He's mid. I say this with love and respect. He's mid.
Absolutely. My thing I love about Kyle is that not a lot of people see is Kyle is a leader. Kyle puts everybody in his place. Kyle calls plays and he makes tough baskets. You saw it last year in that Denver. You know what? I'm just gonna stop.
Nah, bro. I'm laughing at you saying he's more thicker.
Oh yeah, of course. Come on now, like. I gotta address the obvious. You know that food in South Beach is kicking. You know that food in South Beach.
He's living right. He's living right.
Absolutely. But not like you said. At 2, I got the Milwaukee Bucks. Adding Dame, like you said, all of that. The biggest issue that the Milwaukee Bucks had last year was their half-court offense. Like you said, adding Dame, 32-point per game score, one of the best pick and roll players in the league. He could shoot from 40. Like he's literally half-court offense by himself. Like you said, I put him at 2 because they do lose that perimeter defense in Drew Holiday. You lose a semi-defender and a good 3-point shooter in Grayson Allen. And like, yeah, you got guys like Malik Beasley, Jay Crowder, but like they're not going to bring that same level of intensity like Drew Holiday does. And then I got the Celtics at 1, man. As much as yeah, absolutely. Like you said, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, arguably one of the top 5 duos in the league. The Jays lose Rob, like you said. You said it best, man. Replacing Rob Will with Kristaps Porzingis, replacing Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Smart with Drew Holiday is crazy. Like that was like I understand they gave a haul for him, but their window is now. Like I don't see why we can't see them in the finals again this year.
Have to. Right now, you look at how great the Boston Celtics were at the regular season. The difference with how they played in the regular season to the postseason was that the shots weren't falling. The 3 shot, which they were unbelievable at in the regular season, come postseason, they couldn't hit a shot. You saw Jaylen Brown come postseason time. This is the first time that we saw him really struggle in the playoffs. What we've given him credit and nothing but acknowledgement for is being the most consistent player on the Boston Celtics. We finally didn't see that side of Jaylen Brown, and that was a huge shock and one of the main reasons why we didn't see the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. But you're 100% right. These moves are power moves to put them up top of the Eastern Conference once again.
Well, yeah, they're what guys like to call needle movers.
For sure. Love that.
Absolutely.
Do you want to give your 5 or do you want me to give the 5?
No, man, you the guest. I talk all the time.
All right, let's do it.
I know you talk all the time too, but
I do. That I've been getting a lot of heat from Riv and Joel telling me to shut up from time to time. Now, for the West,
Riv doesn't talk enough, in my opinion.
He doesn't. I agree. And when he talks a lot, the guy sounds very smart.
That's
Uh,
what I'm saying, man.
so for my top 5 in the West, 5, I had a difficult time. I can't say I didn't with the Pelicans and Dallas. Now, I know the Clippers should be in contention. You have Kawhi, you have Paul George. Russell Westbrook was pretty fantastic for them when he joined. But you can't trust that either of these two guys are going to be on the court. Obviously, if you can tell me signed and sealed, these two guys will be healthy come playoff time, this team is a lock for top 5. But I look at the Pelicans, and when Zion Williamson was playing basketball with them, albeit for 30 games, this team was at top of the Western Conference. We understand that Brandon Ingram took a leap last season. He was great in his own right. With Zion, we haven't seen the two of them play a whole lot of basketball together, but you acknowledge that that is a very talented duo in the association. I love what they have going on over there. I just need to see Zion be healthy. For that, I can't put him 5. I want to, but I can't. You have to put Dallas here. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. That is going to be probably the number 2, number 3 offensive duo in the association. I say number 2 out of respect for Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. But last year we saw when the two linked up, they were at a historic offensive pace. They were leading the league since Kyrie Irving did join the Dallas Mavericks in offensive rating. It's just a matter of needing help on the defensive side of the ball. They made the adequate moves to address the outside pieces around Kyrie and Luka. This team had one of the better off seasons coming into this season. I have them number 5. Number 4, Golden State Warriors. It's just a matter of consistency, and that consistency is Steph Curry. You do have, of course, Klay Thompson coming off his best year, but struggling in the postseason. That's the last we did see of him, and that left the sour taste in people's mouths. You add CP3, not a positive. I don't know. I don't know if it's a negative per se. He said that he's going to be doing whatever is for the betterment of the team. I respect that. But you do lose Jordan Poole, a high-level chucker. You know, the guy just likes to let the shots up. Has an excellent dribbling package. Some might call bag. But really that becomes irrelevant when you're not hitting and when you're taking erratic shots. And they decided to choose Draymond Green over Jordan Poole. And when you understand the importance of Draymond Green in this offense, and of course, on the defensive side of the ball, you understood that the Golden State Warriors made the 100% right decision. But losses, you lose Poole and you lose DiVincenzo, who was one of the better rotational players for the Golden State Warriors. It'll be interesting to see how they adjust with that. But you trust the foundation that is the Golden State Warriors. Number 3, people may not love this. I got the Phoenix Suns, number 3. What they had of an offseason this year was nothing short of special. Bringing in Bradley Beal. You go Keita Bates-Diop. I'm not the hugest fan of him, but he can be a solid rotational piece. You trade a headache in DeAndre Ayton. You get back Grayson Allen, Yusuf Nurkic. Now, I'm not the hugest Nurkic fan because he can't stay on the court. I firmly believe that DeAndre Ayton is the best player of the players that they did acquire in that package. However, Nurkic is a solid defender, a great rebounder, can stretch the floor a little bit. I felt like he was a great addition for what they're doing over there. They needed rotational pieces. They needed depth, especially after that Bradley Beal deal. I love the moves that they made. This team is most definitely a top 3 team in the West, and honestly, a top 5 team in the league. Probably a top 5 team in the league. I say that pretty lightly, where that 5-6 is interchangeable. Number 2, my Los Angeles Lakers. We spoke about this already. Anthony Davis is coming in with a mission. Last year, he kind of let people, gave people a reminder of who he is. I'm still, when I'm on the court, I'm still top 2, top 3 at my position. Don't forget that I'm the best defensive player in the game. LeBron James is LeBron James. Even in year 21, he is still a top 10 player in the association. You talked about our additions, bringing back Austin Reeves on a 4-year, $56 million when we were supposed to pay him almost $100 million. No team matched.
Going nowhere.
No team matched, and we ended up finessing him back for an amazing contract. We bring back D'Lo on an amazing contract. Taurean Prince comes to the Lakers. You mentioned Jackson Hayes. I mentioned Christian Wood to give some depth that we needed desperately at the big position last season. We were running Wenyen Gabriel out there, and no slight to Wenyen. He's just undersized. He's not a big. But we were forced to run him out there because we needed depth there, or we needed someone to fulfill that need after AD comes off the court. Bringing back Rui Hachimura on a great deal. Vanderbilt gets the extension. We signed Gabe Vincent. We just did everything to fit the perfect team around Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I thought we had an unbelievable offseason, and I'm with you. I think we had the best offseason that is in Milwaukee because you got Damian Lillard. That's a power move. And number one, you got to pay respect to the reigning champions, the Denver Nuggets, the early favorites to run it back. This team is amazing. On the offensive side of the ball, this is the most cohesive offensive unit that the league has, and that's because a league MVP or two-time league MVP, Nikola Jokic, Finals MVP. The man is an all-time great already. He's probably the best big passer this game will ever see. He continues. If you need to, I can give you 30 on any given night. My efficiency is up there with the best of them. Jamal Murray had himself a special postseason run. MPJ went and really broke out on the defensive side. We know that he's an elite level three-point shooter. KCP, miss you every day. I hope you're doing okay, King. He obviously is one of the better 3-and-D guys in the league as well. Aaron Gordon went and took responsibility, the hardest responsibility, each matchup that he had in this postseason run. He was phenomenal in his own right. This team is great. Losing Bruce Brown is gonna sting, but when you have Christian Brown in the reins ready to take his minutes, you understand that this team has been preparing for this type of run for some time. It's just a matter of being healthy. We see what the ceiling is when they are.
All right, man. I mean, I got the same thing like you had in the East, but honestly, at number 5, I got the Sacramento Kings. You can't forget about the year that they had last year. You bring in a guy who I think is actually really going to help them in Chris Duarte. He's another like shot chugger, but when you put him in a system like that oh my God, I forgot the Kings head coach. I'm losing him. I'm losing my mind. He's from Golden State.
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. Thank you. When you have a system like that, and you bring in a guy like Chris Duarte who can really shoot the ball, add to their perimeter shooting that they I feel like they needed last year. You know, you have streaky shooters in Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter who like were really good last year, but like you add another guy into that, and not just to talk about the role players, but like you got to talk about their stars too. I think the Sacramento Kings, if I'm not mistaken, were, if not one of the only team to have two all NBA players on their team in De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Yep. I understand that they're third team guys, but they're still all NBA players. De'Aaron Fox had a great year. We saw the amazing first round that they had against the defending champs at that time, the Golden State Warriors, who took them to 7 games, who gave Steph Curry a run for his money, who made Klay Thompson work for his buckets, who made Jordan Poole like I just feel like, you know, the little back and forth between Draymond and Domantas Sabonis, you got to show love to that Kings, especially the turnaround that they had last year. They went from maybe being a play-in team to being number 3 in the Western Conference. And who knows, if they would have won that Game 7, if De'Aaron Fox didn't get hurt, who knows how far they would have went. They maybe could have gave you guys a run for y'all money. I still had y'all going to the conference finals, but like, you never know. They could have put up a bigger fight. And I just feel like last year wasn't a fluke, and I feel like they're going to have a great year this year.
You saying, I'm sorry to interrupt you, King, but you saying the Kings at 5 speaks volumes to how deep the West is, because there's another team that we haven't even spoken about in the Minnesota Timberwolves that they easily could put themselves in this contention with another leap from Anthony Edwards. Understand that Karl Anthony Towns, one of the better bigs in this game as well. Seeing if Rudy Gobert can do a better job of gelling himself into this team. Jaden McDaniels another year. Mike Conley another year with this team. We understand that there is just so much talent on the Western side that who you have at 5, it really could vary.
It really could be any. It could be any team on any given day.
For sure, man.
Any team on any given day. And it's crazy because when I was thinking about my teams, I wasn't even thinking about Dallas because I forgot. Like I get it. You have 2 of the best offensive guys in Luka and Kyrie, but you can't forget about the little pieces that they got. You got a 3-and-D guy in Grant Williams. You get a good draft pick in Derek Lively. You get oh my God, what's his name? You get a shooter in Seth Curry.
Seth Curry,
like,
facts.
Yeah, like I'm trying to remember who else did they sign, bro. But like they definitely added to that defensive identity that they needed to be from last year. You add big guys like that, it's huge. And at number 4, like you said, I got the Golden State Warriors. I think adding Chris Paul is a good thing because you've been able to see what Chris Paul's been able to do on smaller teams. You know, he was able to give the Phoenix Suns a push to the NBA Finals. When he was in Houston, he was able to push them to the conference finals, able to push James Harden. I understand they had beef, but like you can't knock what they had. If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, they maybe could have go to the finals, win a chip. And the Chris Paul I want to see this year is the Chris Paul we saw in OKC. Because Chris Paul in OKC brought that little team to the playoffs. And he did his thing. If you can get Chris Paul, obviously Steve Kerr is going to get Chris Paul to buy into the system. But if you can get the Chris Paul, the veteran leader, the point guard that he is, you're going to see a jump in guys play. Like Kevon Looney may score a couple more baskets than normally. You get the emergence of Jonathan Kuminga that everybody's been waiting for. You get the bigger emergence in a guy in Moses Moody. So I feel like when you bring in Chris Paul, it helps team morale and it helps the younger guys be able to get up. And then people talk about the other kid, I don't know his name. And then like you could bring in little guys from the G League, they can help them out. Chris Paul will put some confidence in them, and who knows, maybe we'll see them make a jump this year. I understand starting Chris Paul is a little crazy, but I mean, it is what it is, and it takes defensive load off of Steph Curry because Steph Curry's always been that guy to guard some of the harder guards. Like Clay's guarding like the threes, the twos, but like that point guard is all Steph, and Steph is not the defender that people think he is. But when you add a defensive guy in Chris Paul, like I feel like that just like that only lifts your team up.
I'm with you. I think that's perfectly said in terms of helping the young guys. We saw Ayton really start to come to himself early on when Chris Paul came in and really got them going. They were one of the best teams in the Western Conference when they brought in Chris Paul and really got that team juiced up.
Absolutely. And then, like you said, the next 3, I got the same order. You got the Phoenix Suns at 3. Their offseason was really good. Like you said, the additions they add, because we all know depth was an issue, trading away 2 of your best pieces to get Kevin Durant. But then you flip that around. You get a guy like Nurkic, Keita Bates-Diop, Grayson Allen. You forgot they signed Eric Gordon in the offseason, which I think is huge for them too. And then at number 2, you got the Los Angeles Lakers, best offseason in the NBA by far. Like you said, they added to every piece that they needed, and they got extra in Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes, and all that. And then, like you said, number 1, the Denver Nuggets. You got to pay respect. Nikola Jokic is arguably the best player in the league right now. And with his running mate, Jamal Murray, they look like some of the best 2-man guys in the league, like the best duo, especially after winning the chip. You saw the emergence of Jamal Murray in the playoffs. We all didn't know if he was going to be that guy. He wasn't the same scorer, but he was the facilitator that they needed when everybody was eyeing on Jokic. Jokic said, I'm a scorer, you got to facilitate, and that's what they did. And yeah, like at number 1, you just got to pay respect to the Nuggets, man. Like,
I'm with you there, man. The Nuggets are stacked. They're too good, and I'm hoping and I'm optimistic the Lakers can overcome last year's struggle and bounce back.
I think we'll probably get a rematch of the Western Conference Finals. I don't see it.
Yeah, that would be absolute gas.
I don't see why not.
I need LeBron in year 21 win the chip and walk away. I don't need him. If we win, I don't need him to play another year.
That's the ultimate mic. That's the ultimate mic drop. You win a chip. You win a chip, and then you, especially in a Laker jersey, like you get on the mic and you say the king is out, done. Like that's it.
And then tears stream down my face.
Absolutely iconic.
Oh my God, I love every second of that.
But just to get into the last piece of the basketball topic, I got a little thing for you. I got a little start bench cut. I want to see how you thinking. and I just want to show my fans how you are because we got a little different fan base than you guys, so I want everybody to get to know you a little bit. Start bench cut. You got Jamal Murray, Jalen Brunson, and Tyrese Halliburton.
All right, you know what's funny about this? I actually was just thinking about how when we did the Would You Rather on our channel, we had a Would You Rather of Jalen Brunson. I said Jamal Murray. The guys around the table said Jalen Brunson. I said Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, we've seen him at his highest in that bubble run, even before we saw what happened this past postseason. The bubble run was a high that we saw very few point guards get to in the league. And then this past season where he was arguably a top 3, top 4 playoff performer in the entire playoffs, he was exceptional. I have to start Jamal Murray. I have to bench Jalen Brunson. And this one is tough because Tyrese Halliburton is an elevator. He is a floor raiser. He is one of the more underappreciated guards in the league. But I think now as this offseason's gotten on and continued, there's been a lot of respect put on Halliburton. Of course, understanding he's one of the most efficient passers in the association. But I look at Brunson and just what he was able to do for the city of New York, the team of the New York Knicks, winning that playoff series against the Cavaliers while being the best player in the series as well, outdueling Donovan Mitchell back-to-back seasons in the postseason. I don't allow that to leave my mind easily. So I'm going to bench Jalen Brunson, but very, very difficult cut to make Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay, cool. All right, because I want to start doing stuff like that when I have like my guests. I try to have a guest every 10 episodes.
Okay.
So I actually think I'm going to start doing start bench trade because cutting is a harsh word. In my opinion.
I understand. Because you trade Tyrese Halliburton, you get a bag. But start bench trade is very lit because you can have people start to, but if I trade this guy, I could get an amazing bag. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. But I don't want people to think like that. Like you got to start bench cut. Like you see, like you the GM, you the coach, you see these 3 guys walk in, you can only keep 2. You got to let 1 go. So
for that fact, then I guess you cut Brunson because even still Murray showed last season in the finals he was able to be a passer. And not that Brunson's a bad passer, but you primarily know him to score. Jamal, like I said, he had his moments where he needed to be the facilitator of the offense. He showed that he could do that. So I'm going to stand packed. I'm going to stay Murray. I'm going to bench Brunson, and I'm going to cut Tyrese.
All right, man. All right, dope. All right, man. Well, if y'all didn't know, Drew, you who you support in the NBA? Just to wrap this up.
I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan. Absolutely, true and through.
You a Laker fan? You a Giannis guy?
No. Let's relax. Don't do this, Nick. I'm a LeBron fan. That is my guy. He is the only person I actively will root for night to night. Of course, with that being said, I'm a Lakers fan. But there's guys that you acknowledge they're cool. Giannis is one of those guys. Zion's one of those guys. I really like Zach LaVine. So those are guys that are just always around the league. It's like you have players. Like I'm wearing a Kyler Murray jersey. I'm not just gonna I'm not gonna ignore the talent across the leagues. I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna acknowledge that these guys are great. I'm not gonna root for them, overly. If they're playing my Lakers, if they're playing LeBron, there's no way in hell that I'm gonna be being called ruined for them.
Absolutely.
Of course, I want them to do well.
Okay. All right. I respect it. All right, man. So now we're gonna transition over into NFL that's been going on. So usually what I like to do is I like to start off NFL with some top performers that happened last week, and then we get into predictions for next week. And then I think the last one, oh no, that's it. That's really all I got for NFL. Right. So NFL week 4 top performers. I got 2 QBs and a running back. I'm pretty sure you know who the running back is. Mm-hmm. I got Christian McCaffrey.
Absolutely.
Christian McCaffrey, 20 carries, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 receptions, 71 yards, and a touchdown. This guy is arguably the MVP of the NFL. Because when you look at that team, yes, that team is well-stacked, well-rounded, top to bottom. I love Brock Purdy. He's the definition of a guy. He comes in, he does his part for a group project, and he gets an A with everybody else. Christian McCaffrey last year was the needle mover, and you're seeing it this year. And the kid is just unstoppable. He won offensive player of the year when he was in Carolina his first couple years, and he killed. Now when he's on a stacked team, you can really see how he affects teams, especially because he's not as injured. He doesn't have to carry a workload. He can do his thing, and this is what his thing is. Like, he's the best. He's arguably the best running back in the NFL, probably the best dual threat running back in the NFL, and he just takes this Niners team over the moon.
That the year that he was number 3 in offensive player of the year, he got robbed. He got robbed terribly, actually.
Who he lost to?
No, I'm gonna look it up right now, but I know that 2019 year where he had 1,000. Yeah, they gave it to Lamar. Oh, excuse me, they gave it to no. Lamar was number 2. Michael Thomas was number 1. That was the year that he broke the receptions record.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
No, they played McCaffrey. He definitely should have won that.
Yeah, I know he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. I know he did that. I know he probably won Rookie of the Year too, I think, because wasn't he a number 1 overall pick?
He was a first round pick.
It was a first round pick.
I don't think he was Rookie of the Year.
Who was there his rookie year that won it over him? Probably a quarterback.
Had to have been. 2017. I'm blanking. Because that was the same draft as Fournette. I'll look it up and I'll let you know. You can keep going.
All right. So my other 2 top 4 week performers. I got I'm sorry to bring this up. I got my boy Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. I understand people talk about the Miami defense is not all that, but you still got to give recognition where recognition is due. Josh Allen, 21 for 25, 320 yards, an average of 12.8 yards per throw, and 4 TDs and no interceptions. Josh Allen has really turned around ever since that abysmal Week 1 Monday night loss to the New York Jets. But Josh Allen has really shown that this. I understand people say it every year, and I'm gonna keep saying it every year. Josh Allen puts his name in the MVP candidate. He's definitely up there. He's one of the top. I think I have him at number 2 at quarterbacks in the league behind Mahomes. He's shown that he can be that guy. And just my last week 4 top performer. I gotta show love to the young guy. I got CJ Stroud. 16 for 30. I understand that's not a big number, but he never threw an interception. He had 306 yards, 10.2 average, 2 touchdowns, and I believe he had a stat where he was. Wait, hold on, I have the picture of it. He's in some elite company, like elite company. I think through the first 4 or 5 games, he averaged 300 yards, no interception, and the only other QBs to do that is Mahomes, Brady, Eli, and I think Drew Brees. Like, that's insane. Oh, I have it right here. Yeah, most pass attempts without an interception, 151. The kid's a stud.
No, he's incredible. And with the Houston Texans, who coming into the season, you weren't expecting much. You honestly believe, that this was going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And when you have a franchise quarterback, it immediately changed your landscape of things. And CJ Stroud, to start his career, has been nothing short of phenomenal. Now, to get into my top performers, I'll backpack off you because you mentioned CJ Stroud. Let's mention another name on the Texans. That's Nico Collins, 7 receptions, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nico has arrived, and a guy that people haven't, there was belief in, but you couldn't be overly confident in him because of the quarterback situation or the lack thereof. And now that he has a true quarterback 1, Nico has fully emerged on the scene, and he has put himself in very high regard so far to start this season. One of the highest graded receivers for the entirety of the season so far. He is phenomenal.
And you can see the bond that they have. Like they're good friends, everything on and off the field.
It's they're pushing the ball downfield. That's what's making this offense so fun. The offensive line has been beat up. He's been one of the most pressured quarterbacks in the league. He's been one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league, but he continues to stay confident in the pocket, trust his arm, and deliver strikes consistently. And the last name I want to mention is A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown, who we had conversations, is Devontae Smith taking over that wide receiver one reins. It is A.J. Brown. Not that we thought that he lost his step, but is it just that he's kind of accepting that this is Smitty's team? No, that's not the case. Not at all. 9 receptions, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, back-to-back weeks of being dominant. A.J. Brown reminds us all that he is still the alpha of the offense, but it's been great to see the Philadelphia Eagles pass offense. At least last week, we understand that it is the Commanders, but regardless, to finally see them emerge and have that breakout game in the passing and with their pass offense, that was excellent to see. And of course, A.J. Brown putting up an unbelievable week.
Absolutely. And then, like you said, A.J. Brown showing he's going to be that guy. He's showing people, he's like, hey, man, they brought me in Philly for a reason. And he's showing it out. Same way he did last year. But, all right, man, on to week 5 predictions. I don't know if this is early because I know you guys do them for your Patreon. I guess we could do this as like a little preview of what y'all sneak peek. All right, so Thursday night tonight, Chicago Bears versus the Washington Commanders. Who you got, bro?
I got the Commanders. I can't take any team over the Bears. I'll be happily wrong if they upset a team. The Commanders, hey, this is a winnable game, sure. I'm just going to ride with the Commanders. They played an excellent game of football last week versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I know it's a division game. They seem to be the team that gives the Eagles the most trouble. But all in all, they should go and win this game pretty easily.
Absolutely. I actually have the Commanders circled as well. Like you said, coming off of that week, last week's loss with the Philadelphia Eagles, but the confidence you saw in Sam Howell and in the rest of that team, that definitely carries over week to week. It's going to be a good game, and that Bears defense is not it. As much as big of a believer as I am in Justin Fields, I'm going to tell you right now, you could probably clown me. I had the Bears winning the division, but we all know that is way out the window now. I'm just praying that they keep Justin Fields or they trade into the New York Jets. I would love that guy, man. Period.
Yeah, I won't clown you for that. They had expectation. Justin Fields had expectations. They haven't lived up to them. Simple.
Absolutely. All right. Sunday morning in London, you got the Jags versus the Bills. Who you got, Drew?
I'm going with arguably the hottest team in football right now. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. The offense seems to be clicking on all cylinders. The pass offense for the Jaguars is not good by any means. It's not a recipe to win a ball game if that's the case against the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills defense has been phenomenal, where we've seen the Jaguars, where last week against the Falcons, they kind of put things together, but they've struggled with drops pretty strongly to start this season. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills pretty confidently.
Absolutely, man. Like you said, the hottest team in the NFL. After losing that week 1, I think they've been averaging over 30 points a game.
Josh Allen.
Exactly. Josh Allen's been on the tear, and you can still see that Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs is one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the league right now. So Sunday night afternoon games, 1 p.m. slots, you got the Titans versus the Colts. I got the Colts winning this game. The Titans are nothing. They got a lucky win over the Chargers, in my opinion. But ever since then, I've never been a believer in Ryan Tannehill. I love Derrick Henry. I don't know why D-Hop signed there. D-Hop has been on the low level. I have him on my fantasy team, so I'm always checking in on that guy. And he just hasn't been that guy. And I don't think it's him. I just think it's that offense, and I think it's Tannehill that they just haven't been going to him. But when you look at the Colts, you have a young guy in the emergence of Anthony Richardson. They're supposed to get Jonathan Taylor back this week.
That's viral.
Which is huge. I think Jonathan Taylor finally come to realize, hey, if they're not going to trade me, I might as well play this season and then see what happens. And I also think that he's probably seen the success that the Colts can have. Michael Pittman and what they've been doing this year. They seem like they could be on the up and rising team. Maybe Jonathan Taylor can put them a little bit over the hump, maybe give them better than what they expected. But I'm a firm believer in this Colts team, man, especially Anthony Richardson. He's that
Not
dude.
you made a lot of good points, but I saw Tennessee look pretty impressive against the Bengals. Uh, Derrick Henry finally had his big blow up week, 22 carries over 120 yards, but that was all right. It took some time for him to finally get going. We need to see it on a consistent basis. I'm gonna trust the king though. Derrick Henry is one of the best running backs that I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's just a matter of getting him going.
Mm.
I think this is a matchup that he could fully exploit as well. I'm with you, Jonathan Taylor. That's a huge boost. This Tennessee Titans defensive front is one of the best in football. They continue to be one of the best run-stopping defenses in football as well. This isn't a great return matchup for Jonathan Taylor. He's Jonathan Taylor. You respect him that he can still get his. Anthony Richardson has been very promising early on in his career also, but he hasn't been that efficient of a passer. If there was a defense for him to exploit in that regard, it would be the Titans. They have one of the worst secondaries in the league. The only team that did not have a prolific passing day against them was the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's in due part to Joe Burrow being hurt, that offensive line not being the best, and really them lacking explosiveness at this point of the season. But I like the Titans in this matchup. I think that Vrabel will draw up a great scheme for the rookie quarterback division game. They could based on how this one looks, I'll think about a split. But I just don't think the Colts are ready yet.
Okay, I see it. I get what you're saying. But on to the next 1 p.m. game. You got the Saints and the Patriots. I got the Saints, man, because that defense is still that good. I think they're finally gonna bench Derek Carr because he did not look good last week. I think they're gonna keep Jameis because I think Derek Carr needs another week to recover. I still think they're that team. And the Patriots, man, I don't know what is going on over there. I understand losing to the Cowboys, but they are Cowboys are arguably the best team, one of the best teams in the NFL.
Sure.
And like that defense is just outstanding. And I understand Bill Belichick is one of the best minds in the NFL. I understand Mac Jones is on the come up. He's gonna be that dude. Hopefully soon. I could definitely see him like maybe cracking the top 10 one year, but they need some weapons on that. And plus, losing a guy like Matthew Judon and I think it's Christian
Christian
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez. Mm-hmm.
Christian Gonzalez losing him for the season, losing Matthew Judon for a couple, like I think they said a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's big for this Patriots defense because especially when you look at the Patriots defense was one of the main reasons why that the Patriots were even in some of these games was because of that defense. And when you lose two of your big hitters, I just think the Patriots are on a downfall from here. So I gotta go with the Saints.
This one was tough for me because I saw how the Saints looked against the Buccaneers, and with Derek Carr's inability to push the ball down the field because of the injury to his shoulder, we saw a lot of dump offs to Kamara. This offense was not good. To put it very easily, they were not good. The Buccaneers should not have won that game. The Buccaneers are not as good of a football team collectively as the Saints, but it's a division game. They were able to come away with the win. This matchup, Christian Gonzalez out for the season. That's brutal. Matthew Judon, their best pass rusher, out for a couple weeks. That's brutal. I just don't love either of these two teams right now. If they decide to sit Carr and put in Winston, I can feel a little bit better about this situation where we're going to be seeing them drive the ball down the field, see Olave, get him going in this offense. Michael Thomas and of course, Jameis have been on the same team for a couple of years, even though that Michael Thomas hasn't been healthy. Alvin Kamara has been in an offense with Jameis Winston. I feel a lot more comfortable if Jameis is a quarterback. So I'm going to pull a Dells here. I'm going to put a caveat. If Derek Carr plays, I'm going with the Patriots. But if Jameis Winston plays, I'm going with the Saints.
That's funny. He said I'm pulling the Dells. Oh my god. All right. So next one I got Ravens, Steelers.
I'm going with the Ravens. Easy. Steelers have not been a good football team. Ravens are one of the best in the game right now, defensively and offensively. This is an easy one.
Absolutely. I got the Ravens as well. Especially the Steelers losing last week with that defense losing to a guy like CJ Stroud. They just couldn't get to him.
Maybe it's not that much of an insult because CJ is like that. However, you weren't supposed to lose that game.
No, absolutely. And then they just lost Kenny Pickett too, so I think he's going to be out for some time. Next one, I got the Texans and the Falcons. I actually got the Texans winning this game.
That's a fact. I got the Texans winning too.
Absolutely. Like we've been raving about CJ Stroud almost all episode. I feel like the kid's a stud, and when you look at that Falcons defense like that, they maybe have like one or two guys. I forgot the corner's name. He's
It's
been
Jesse
really
Bates,
good.
AJ Terrell. Facts. Those two have really done their
Thank
thing.
you.
The defensive line of the Falcons has been solid too. Their run stop, but really that just caters to what the Texans want to do, and that's pass the ball and move the ball down the field.
Exactly. You're literally playing into their hands, and CJ's probably going to go for another 300 no interception game.
That would be insane, actually.
Absolutely. And then you got Panthers Lions.
I have the Lions. Lions are one of the best teams in the NFC. I just love everything about the Lions outside of maybe their secondary, but they still do have some exciting players there. Brian Branch, Cam Sutton. But this team is so much fun to watch. The offense is prolific. Whether you like David Montgomery or not, he's going to continue to get his. Jameer will slowly become integrated into this offense. Aiden Hutchinson solidifying himself as one of the premier young guys on the defensive line. This team's great, and this will be another win on the win column.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got the Lions winning too. And then this last 1 p.m. game, this is the battle of the Drews, man. You got the Giants and the Miami Dolphins. Who are you going for? Are you going for the New York side, or are you going for your Tua MVP, man? Who you got?
My hands are off this one outside of the fact that I'm a Dolphins Tua supporter. My ties with the Giants, they're no more. It's over. They're done. Andrew Thomas, that's my guy. Wish him well. Hope he's back healthy soon. Daniel Jones, I'll never stop losing faith in you. The rest of this Giants team is done. It's over. I don't care about it. I hope Saquon comes back healthy. Maybe he returns this week. Who knows about that? It's over, man. The Giants are going to get smoked in this one. The Dolphins might put up a calm 30, 35 points. I'm just hoping that Tua continues to put some insane stats on his stat line.
Okay. Honestly, I got the Miami Dolphins too.
Yeah.
I haven't been high on the Giants. I'm not gonna lie.
Shit.
All right, on to the afternoon slates. 4:05. Bengals Cardinals. This one's easy. Obviously, you got the Bengals. I think the Bengals win whether Joe Burrow plays or not.
I'm gonna be transparent. This might be my upset of the week. Now, last week I had the Texans upsetting the Steelers. That was my big upset of the week.
I did too.
This one is a little bit more bold because the Bengals are hungry. They need this win. However, I've seen 4 weeks in a row of the Cardinals playing some hard-nosed football. They got beat up by Christian McCaffrey. That's okay. That's one of the best in the game. Like Nick already mentioned, that is an MVP candidate. He is going to be special week in, week out. Nothing you could do about that. I think he scored a touchdown in 13, 14 straight weeks. He's been insane. Now, the Cardinals against the Bengals have been banged up. Joe Burrow is obviously injured. The offense has struggled to get anything going. The Cardinals defense has looked solid. They don't look great against the Niners, but look good against the Cowboys. And week one, look pretty good against Sam Howell and company, but that's not a matchup that you're really going to rave about. What we talk about is that Cowboys game. They blew it to the Giants. They shouldn't have blown that lead, but the Giants were resilient at the end of the second half. I think the Bengals are vulnerable right now. And I think Cardinals smell blood in the water. I'm going with the Cardinals here.
Okay. I like the boldness. I like the boldness.
Right, like this one I'm really being bold.
I get it. No,
but James Conner's been great. Josh Dobbs has been great. The big issue on that defense is run defense, and they're going to be able to gash that. Cardinals been very prolific so far rushing the football.
And shout out to Josh Dobbs. Finally got his jersey in the store, man. Like that's
facts.
I'm telling you, like I see the bold take. I see what you mean. I don't know, man. I just don't know why you can't sleep on Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and like even if Joe Burrow doesn't play, like in my opinion. But we all know Joe Burrow.
Jake Browning's not getting no W. He's not.
I get it. I feel you. We'll see. But next 4 o'clock game, Eagles Rams.
This one's pulling on the heartstrings. You know I love my Rams. That being said, I got to go with Philadelphia. I think that Matthew Stafford will have no problem passing the football. I know he's injured right now, but this Eagles secondary is one that I am concerned with. That's been their big issue to start the season. We saw Sam Howell have a great game against them. We saw Mac Jones have a great game against them. Kirk Cousins obviously put up an insane statistical game against them as well.
Mhm.
I don't see why Matthew Stafford can't continue to be successful early on in the year. That being said, Eagles are a better team, and defensively and offensively, they're going to be able to do whatever they want against this Rams defense. I got the Eagles.
Absolutely. I got the Eagles as well, man, especially because everybody had their questions about Jalen Hurts, what's going on with him in the beginning of the year. Yeah, they've had some close calls, but the past couple of weeks, Jalen Hurts has been on fire. And Jalen Hurts has been he's been throwing the ball, he's been running the ball, and he's been showing people that this Eagles team is nobody to play with. The
No.
reasons why they're still undefeated, and I think they continue that streak this week. Next game, you versus Joel. Who you got? Broncos, Jets.
Even if I feel otherwise, I'm going with the Denver Broncos. You thought I was
You
going to take the
almost had
Jets.
me.
You
You
kidding me?
almost had me.
You kidding me? You thought I was going to take the Jets? I don't care if this ruins our chances for Caleb. This one is personal. We need this one. We're
Okay.
going to have this one. And I just need to see Russ continue to ball out. Wouldn't it be poetic against the Jets? Joel, right? He's been talking all this about Russell Wilson. And for him to go up there and put up a light show against that elite Jets secondary, elite Jets defense as a whole, it would be amazing for me to watch. And I believe it'll happen.
Honestly, man, just to backpack off of what you said, this Jets defense is elite. Russell Wilson has been balling out. But it pains me to say this. I have to ride on the Joel train. As much as I don't like Zach Wilson, he's had some great flashes last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just praying, and I've said it on my show, the kid's got to go. The kid's still got to go. But I'm just praying you can put up some points against this Denver defense. And this New York defense is nobody to joke with. Quentin Williams. I always forget his brother's name. Quentin Williams, CJ Mosley, DJ Reed. You got Whitehead in the back. Can't forget about my guy Sauce Gardner. You're a hold merchant that you like to talk about.
He is a hold merchant.
Okay. But I gotta roll with the Jets, man. Gotta roll with my guys. Yeah, I got the Jets winning this game. I do have Russell Wilson balling out though. Russell Wilson is that guy. He's been playing really well.
That's all we need.
I don't think y'all should tank for Caleb, in my opinion. I think Russell's the guy. You just need like one or two more weapons because Judy's not reliable. Sutton is always hurt, and you just need some defensive identity. Besides PS2, and then that's it.
Yeah, and Justin Simmons, of course. But outside of that, you're right. I believe with getting Caleb and moving on from Russ, it just puts us in a better financial situation. It gives us a reset. You bring in Caleb, it's a reset, a hard reset that this franchise needs. That's my mindset. That's my logic behind it. But Russ is not the problem. He's far from the problem, actually.
Absolutely. All right. Next game you got Chiefs versus the Vikings.
I'm going with the Chiefs. Chiefs offense has not looked as pristine as the statistics may say. Right now, they're the number 3 total offense. The defense has been amazing. The Vikings have not looked great so far to start this season. They finally got their first one against Carolina, but not a great matchup. Bounce back off the W. I'm going with the Chiefs here.
Okay. I think this is when my bold take starts.
Here we go.
I got the Vikings winning this game, man. I only got the Vikings because, yes, Mahomes made the Jets game close. But if Zach Wilson can do that against the Jets defense with Chris Jones, why can't Kirk Cousins continue his streak of the heater that he's been on this year? He's been averaging almost 300 yards a game. Jettis has been killing. Name me one person on that Chiefs team who can guard Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, who's been playing really well, TJ Hawkinson. You add a guy in Cam Akers. People sleep on Anthony Madison. Hopefully he has this breakout game. But I don't see why the Vikings can't win this game, especially after what they went through last week. And I think the Chiefs are so delusional about what's going on with Travis and Taylor. I think that I don't see why the Vikings can't sneak up and win this game.
The Vikings, their defense really is the reason why I
Oh,
can't lean with them going up against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just the Chiefs. They're gonna be able to put up points, whether I feel as if they have looked good or not. They
mhm.
were they have been a model of consistency for so many years that you trust that they're going to be able to have success. But I understand where you're coming from. This offense definitely does have talent. I'm talking about Minnesota. It's just they've looked sloppy and they haven't been able to pull out any wins, regardless of how talented that this team may be.
Absolutely. I mean, I get what you're saying. Still, it's just a bold take for me, in my
I
opinion.
respect it. That's fine.
Yeah, I gotta have one or two always,
There you go. I
and
got
then
the Cardinals. You got the Vikings.
absolutely. And Sunday night football, you got the duel of two of the best well-rounded teams in the NFL. You got the Cowboys and the Niners, even though I'm still leaning the Niners. I think the Niners are going to be huge. I understand with the Cowboys that they losing Trayvon Diggs sucks. Micah had an apparent ankle injury last week. We don't know. I didn't get any reports if he's going to play this week, if he's going to sit. But the heater that, like we talked about him before, Christian McCaffrey's been on. Hopefully Brandon Ayuk comes back. Debo Samuel's been playing really well. Brock Purdy's been having a great statistical year. Like I said, he's been doing his part in the group project so that way they could all get an A. And Fred Warner, like, come on now. Like I got the Niners winning this game.
The Niners should be the favorites to win this game. We've seen some lows from the Cowboys, but they bounced back immediately against the New England Patriots last week. Put on a
Absolutely.
defensive virtuoso against them. This one's tough for me because I know last year the Niners did end the Cowboys season and it left a bitter taste in a lot of Cowboys fans' mouths because you saw Dak Prescott get outperformed by Brock Purdy in a game that Brock Purdy really was not that mint. It was just a horrible performance from Dak. Part of me feels that Dak has had this one circled all off season long. On my notes, I have the Niners, but I'm feeling a change of heart. I'm feeling that the Dallas Cowboys pull the upset and they beat the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners have been the most consistent, well-rounded team in the National Football League. But something in me tells me that Dallas is just more ready for this game than the Niners are, and I think they come out with the win.
Okay. I like that. Like like I said, battle of the two heavy hitters. You really
For sure.
can't go wrong with either choice, in my
No.
opinion. And just the last game of the weekend of week 5, Monday Night Football, Packers Raiders.
Yeah, they dropped a dud on us on Monday Night Football
Absolutely.
again.
I think they should switch Sunday night, Monday night, in my opinion.
Or make this Packers Raiders game a 1:00 and finesse another one from the 1:00, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. I'm going with the Packers.
You going with the Packers, you said?
I'm going with the Packers, yeah.
I get it. I mean, Jordan Love's been really showing out, even with and without Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones looked like not a dud last week, but I think one thing I will give Jordan Love credit is that comeback win he had against the
Saints.
Saints. I thought that was phenomenal. I think the kids definitely proved me wrong. I had no faith. The kid's outstanding. The kid, I think he can play really well. But I gotta go with the Raiders. I think Jimmy Garoppolo plays this week. I got a lot of faith in Devontae Adams. Hopefully Josh Jacobs can get himself going. Jacoby Myers is back from concussion protocol. I'm going with my Las Vegas Raiders to win this game.
Okay. All right. I respect that. I understand where you're coming from.
All right. And just the last thing I'm going to talk about on the NFL subject, Drew, I'm trying to get your two surprising teams, a good team and a bad team. Like, who surprised you good and who surprised you, like, who's been playing bad?
So surprising has been the Houston Texans. Like I said, to come into the season, I thought that this team would be one of the worst teams in the league. I didn't trust in the defensive unit. I did not trust that the offense would be this prolific so soon. I believed in C.J. Stroud, but I wasn't believing in year one that he'd be one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. That definitely has caught me by surprise. And in the bad way, no surprise here, the New York Football Giants. It's unfortunate that they've been injured, that you don't have Andrew Thomas, you don't have Saquon Barkley. That didn't matter week 1 when the Dallas Cowboys absolutely routed them out of the building 40-0. Great bounce back game against the Cardinals, but then of course we saw the wheels fall off. No Saquon Barkley, and then these back-to-back weeks against the Niners, against the Seattle Seahawks. It hasn't been an ideal start to the season. I don't see any upward trajectory for the New York Giants. I would absolutely love if that were the case. The defense looked solid against Seattle the first time all season that I saw them be impressive so far. But I'm surprised that this team is as bad as it is.
Okay. All right, man. I mean, I only got 2 teams listed on here. The surprising team that's good for me is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 3-1, looking like they could really win this division, really maybe even come in second, fight for a wild card. Baker Mayfield's been playing out of his mind. We all see what Mike Evans doing, fighting for his money, all that. I think they're a good team. They probably have a good end of the year. And just in a bad way, I have a tie between the Saints and the Chargers. They're both 2-2. I thought the Chargers would be a lot better. I thought they would be like 3-1, maybe 4-0. And I feel like the past couple of years, that Chargers defense and that Chargers period hasn't really played up to par besides Justin Herbert. So I feel like they could have had a lot of better games. Like you saw Khalil Mack last week had 7 or 8 sacks. Why can't you do that? Not every week, but have something like that. This Chargers defense has been very minimal, not as good as they should be. And the same thing with the Saints, man. I thought they would be a lot better. This is their division to lose, in my opinion.
No, I'm with you there. I think the Saints definitely should be the favorites to win the division with how poor we've seen the surrounding teams play outside of the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have been a pleasant surprise. I do like the Falcons. I don't like Desmond Ridder. And
Absolutely.
That's what's holding me back from really believing that team could win that division and make the playoffs. But I'm not going to disagree with you too much. The Saints offense has been a little disappointing. When they get into the red zone, they can't execute. And the Chargers, I think they're turning the corner, actually. I feel as if the defense I don't trust, but the offense has been so amazing, even without Austin Eckler. Herbert last week kind of cruised to a victory. He did injure his finger, but the offense has been pretty solid regardless of that. They do have their bye week. Perfect timing. You rest Herbert up another week. Eckler now comes back week 6. So I feel as if I'm with you on the Saints. The Chargers one, I'm going to hold off on, but understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. No, definitely. I could definitely see the Chargers turning it around now, especially finally getting their 2 wins under the belt. They've always been a great team. It's just a matter of they just got to get into the groove of things.
I'm with you.
In my opinion. All right. And just on to the last segment I have on my show, I got what's going on, what else is going on in the sports world. I only got 2 things to talk about. I got MLB and WNBA. I know you're a big baseball guy. I'm sorry the Yankees didn't make the playoffs. We didn't make the playoffs either.
Listen, the Yankees playoffs were yesterday when the Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays both got their asses sent home. So yeah. I'm not too upset. And, I know I may be one of the only Yankee fans that feel this way, and I'll live with it. I know I'm supposed to hate the Orioles. I cannot help but be excited for what's going on over there. I could be bitter. I could be one of those fans that, hey, you're in my division. I don't want to root for you. But when it comes to the Orioles, who've been in the mud for so many years, now they're the number 1 seed in the AL. They're playing such high-level baseball, both offensively and, of course, with their pitching as well.
Yeah,
I can't help but root for those guys, honestly.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the wild cards, but I thought the wild cards were gonna go 2-1.
Facts. They all really just said, "Let's get out of here."
All right, the best teams went. All right, we're gonna win 2 games, and we on to the next one. So just to preview some of the matchups you got in the semis, you got the Twins and the Astros. I think there's no reason why the Astros should not win this series.
I am hopeful. I'm rooting for Minnesota. I'm rooting for Minnesota like my life depends on it. Carlos Correa revenge tour. That's going to be great to see.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. I think that unfortunately the Astros will win this series, but
I was going to say, you don't got to say it. I get it. It's okay.
Yeah.
I hate to root for the Astros too, especially because we traded away Justin Verlander. I know he was there first, but when he became a New York Jet, it just felt. I mean, a New York
I know what
Met,
you
like
mean.
it just felt different, especially because he was playing so well. I get it. I get trading Max Scherzer, but not Verlander. Like, but it's all good. Next matchup I got the Rangers and the Orioles. I take it you're going with the Orioles.
I am going with the Orioles. The Rangers definitely aren't such. They have a solid pitching rotation.
Even with Max Scherzer going down for the year.
Yeah, they really are a talented squad, and offensively, that's really been their bread and butter. With, of course, Seager, you have Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim. They really just have a ton of time. Marcus Semien is another one. This team is great. I just feel the Orioles are playing better baseball right now. I'm going with them.
Absolutely. And then on to the NL. You got the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers.
Dodgers. That's another team that I don't root for. I don't hate them as
Oh,
much.
yeah.
I don't hate them as much as I hate the Astros for obvious reasons. But the Dodgers run their team the way that the Yankees used to, and I'm bitter because they are who we should be, and they're amazing. And I may sound like a hater right now, but I don't care. But I'm going with the Dodgers. They should win this series.
No, absolutely. And then on to the last one, you got the Phillies and the Braves.
This is another one. I watch baseball where I just always try to pick a series and I root for a team. So I don't like the Braves. I don't.
I hate the Braves so
I
much.
understand that they were the best team in baseball. One of the most impressive hitting seasons that we've seen in some time, where they had 5 players hit over 20 home runs, 6 players hit over 20 home runs.
Yep.
Matt Olson had himself an unbelievable season. The MVP of the
I think he won the batting title, right? He had most home runs.
Yeah, he did have the most home runs. The batting title, I think, went to Luis Arias.
Okay.
He hit like 354. He was unbelievable. But of course, Ronald Acuna is going to be the National League MVP. They have an unbelievable pitching staff over there. The Braves are stacked. They should win this series. I'm rooting for the Phillies. I love Bryce Harper. I love Bryce Harper. It's a shame that he's not in pinstripes. Brian Cashman will never live that down with me for not even interviewing him. But no doubt, the Braves should be the favorites. They should win this series. But let's go Phillies.
Absolutely. No, I get what you're saying. My one Met game I went to this year, I got to see the Atlanta Braves, and I was sitting by Ronald Acuna, and the guy's a stud.
Hell yeah.
The guy's a stud, bro.
Yeah, bro. He's crazy.
I'm watching the guy walk up to the plate with the swag, and then he just bomb. I'm like, yo, like this, him, Ozzy Albies, like you can't be mad at these guys, but like I hate the Braves because they're so good.
Of course.
But it's just, man, I just can't.
My in-laws went to the game, the Braves versus the Mets, when they put up a 20 spot on you guys.
Oh, I was there. I was at that.
Oh, that was that game? Oh my goodness. I would have just left.
I was sitting in the stands. It was the 7th inning stretch. I'm like, yo, should I go home right now?
You should have left the 5th inning, bro.
No, I was just sitting. I was just sitting there. I was having a good time, but I was just like, damn, like, should I leave? Like,
you know what? I felt that way with the Giants Seahawks, where I tried. I was just like, one more play, one more drive. If they don't get a first down, we can leave. And it's just like you're having a good time even through the misery.
That's what I'm saying, especially because like when it comes to the Mets, I'm a big Pete Alonso guy. Like I love Pete, I love Lindor. When Pete was at the plate, I'm looking at him. I'm like, damn, like I could feel a home run coming. I could feel it. I
know what you mean.
And then he just strikes out, and I'm like, oh damn, like. But I'm just like, damn. But yeah, man, that's just to talk about MLB. So who's your pick to win the World Series, win the whole thing?
To win the World Series.
You don't got to elaborate on it, but I just want to know your pick. Because to me, I think I got the Dodgers. I think that as big as the Braves are, I think the Dodgers are so like just as well-rounded, and I feel like they just got the Braves number. Like something about the Dodgers just like it just hits different.
I feel Orioles-Braves World Series matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can't root for the Orioles to win the whole thing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel the Orioles can win the whole thing this season. I
Okay.
do firmly believe that. Adley
Respect.
Rushman, one of the best young players in the game. Gunnar Henderson breaking out onto the scene this season as well.
Yeah.
They have some great, great talent over there in Baltimore. They're You want to talk about togetherness. The Orioles have just played with a bunch of that this season. I think I lean the Orioles. As bold as
Okay.
that might be, I think the Orioles can win the whole thing.
Okay. All right, man. Listen, man. I'm not questioning it. I get it. But on to the last topic of the show, man. This is my favorite topic that I love to rant about. WNBA season is about to wrap up. We're in the WNBA Finals. Aces versus the New York Liberty. Sunday, October 8th, 3 p.m. Game 1, best of 5. I seen you tweet about the New York Liberty, so I know you be peeping a little bit. I Tell me what you know about the W, man. What you know
All
about
right.
the W?
What I know about the W is that the New York Liberty have the best player in the WNBA, and that is Brianna Stewart. Now credit to Asia Wilson. She's unbelievable in her own right. This was the picture perfect WNBA Finals. This is
Everybody's talking
everything that we
about
wanted.
super team, super
That's it.
team.
We
This is
wanted it.
what
We
we got,
wanted the
and this is what
Liberty.
we wanted.
And it's beautiful. I can't wait to tune in, honestly. You have the Aces, you have the Liberty. This is everything that fans have wanted. We go now. We get to see Brianna match up against Asia. We go, of course, my girl Sabrina Ionesco in the biggest moment of the season. You know that the Aces are stacked. Of course, Kelsey Plumlee is on that side as well. I got to ride with New York. I got to ride with the
Absolutely.
girls over there with the Liberty. They've been playing
Absolutely.
excellent basketball. Shout out to Brianna to come and bring her talents over here, putting on an unbelievable, historic season for most points scored in a season in the WNBA. It's been special to watch her play basketball in New York, but this is going to be a tough matchup for the Liberty. I know that for sure. The Aces are amazing. They are a well-oiled machine. They've been in this moment. This is the Liberty's first time getting a taste of that. But that New York energy is different, and I hope that they show out for the girls over here. And I'm pulling for the Liberty to win this one.
Absolutely, man. Just to elaborate on just to shout out to the Aces for real. They won last year. Some of the heavy hitters that they got, like you said, Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson. They have one of the best passing girls in the league in Chelsea Gray, who's amazing. And then you got a young star who really showed out this year, who in the beginning who really played really well is Jackie Young, their point guard. I think she's phenomenal. I think that whole unit, especially with Becky Hammond on the clipboard, like they're so good, man. I don't see why they can't win this year. But the biggest reason why I see why they can't win this year is because of the New York Liberty, man. You got the reigning MVP, Brianna Stewart. You got one of the best defenders and rebounders in Jonquel Jones, who went to the WNBA Finals last year with the Connecticut Sun. Now she came over to New York, back-to-back WNBA Finals. You got Sabrina Ionescu, who's arguably a Steph Curry-like in the W, who shoots from deep, who could shoot off the dribble, who could do all that. And then the emergence of I forgot how you say her first name, Betnaji Laney, back-to-back 20-point games in the last series against the Connecticut Sun. We came out with the dub. It was 3-1. The Connecticut Sun are no joke. We've always had an issue with them. Shout out to Alyssa Thomas, who was my pick for the MVP. She was putting up numbers, most triple-doubles in the WNBA season, most triple-doubles in like WNBA career. Last year, she had the first ever triple-double in WNBA history.
Wow.
But, this New York Liberty team is different. When you see the emergence of the bench in Kiana, I think it's Kia Thornton, one of my favorite players that I love to watch, Maureen Johannes, who's really good. You got Stephanie Dawson, who's like the quote-unquote like big mama of the team. Like, I'm telling you, man, this New York Liberty team is so good. I've seen them play live. The energy in the Barclays when the Liberty step on the court is, pardon my French, is fucking different, bro. I'm telling you. Yo, last year I went to a playoff game when they played against the Chicago Sky. Candace Parker was in the building. Again, pardon my French, she was fucking nuts. I'm telling you, bro. I know NBA season started, NFL season going on right now. I've been saying it over and over again. Tune into the W, man. I'm telling you, this shit is so fun to watch. It gets so intense, man. I'm telling you.
No, I'm locked into the WNBA Finals. This is the matchup that I've been waiting to see.
Absolutely. Like everybody talking about super team, super team, super team. This is what y'all wanted. This is prime W basketball TV, bro. I'm telling you this shit
I
about
like
to get
that.
crazy.
The W is tough. The
Yeah, they've
W is
been calling
cool.
it the W for a while. Like I'm telling you, this shit nice.
I'm late
Telling
to it.
you.
I only started tuning in with when Sabrina got drafted to New York, honestly.
Oh
But
yeah, Sabrina's tough.
she changed the energy. She changed the
Fact.
energy.
Sabrina is tough, bro.
She is mad
But
cool.
yeah, but all right, man, that's gonna be a wrap for episode 10 of the Trophy Room podcast. Shout out to my boy Drew, man. I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate you being here, staying with me the whole time. And I'm gonna take this from you on your show. Is there anything you want to say to my peoples out there?
Listen, I want to thank you for having me on your show, for going ahead and grinding every single time you step into the studio. It's effort that you have to put into making content. So I just want to shout you out. People, if you want to tune into the Pigside podcast, that'd be much
Absolutely.
appreciated. But I want to thank you. Shout out to the Trophy Room podcast. It's been a blast being up here with you, man.
I appreciate that, man. And just to elaborate on that, listen, y'all one of the main reasons why I'm up here. I
I
started
respect
watching
that,
y'all.
bro.
I
Thank
started
you.
watching y'all like episode like 150, 135, like right before you got on the show. So I was watching JC, I was watching Joel, I was watching Rev, and I'm watching them. I'm like, yo, this shit kind of fire. And
Yeah,
I'm just
man.
watching them and I'm watching y'all grow. I joined the Discord. I follow y'all on Patreon. Listen, shout out to y'all over there on Pick a Side, man, because I would not be here today if it was not for y'all. For real.
We appreciate that, bro. And we don't take that lightly.
Absolutely, man. But listen, man, I like to end every show off like this. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Trophy Room Podcast. Make sure y'all like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Pick a Side, man. All the social medias are up above. And most importantly, man, tell your friends.